You are now tuned into the dopest podcast in the world, Krown Jewels Podcast.
It's the Krown Jewels Podcast. It's the Krown Jewels Podcast. If you know, you know.
Yeah, it's your boy Jame the Great.
Janae the Bae.
Hey man, and we're in here for another episode of Krown Jewels Podcast.
Back.
Man, it's been a minute.
Feels like it. Yeah.
How y'all been?
Good. Took a little vacay, you
Man,
know.
my
Still
time.
smell like a vacation, you know. Still, you know, feeling okay. But, you know, it is what it is.
That's what's up. I did the same. A mini vacay. Wasn't nothing too special, but it was great fun though.
Yeah.
I did the same, so I guess we was
We
on
all
vacation.
was on vacation.
Yeah, that's what it is.
There it is. There it is. Yeah.
Needed. It's needed.
Yeah.
Especially with all that's going on,
Right.
we need to take a step back.
Yeah.
So much craziness,
Yeah.
man. But before we get started, man, I want to shout out Audible, an Amazon company that has the world's largest selection of Audible books and original ad-free audio shows. Whatever your passion and interest are, check out Audible. You know what I'm saying? And you'll go ahead and get a 30-day free trial if you use the code JEWELS. You know what I'm saying? So www.audibletrial.com/jewels, JEWELS. Yeah.
What better time
Get
than
it.
now?
Yep.
Yeah.
You in the house anyway. We probably going back on lockdown.
Man.
Might as well.
Might as well.
Man. Hey, one thing though, man, I went home, you know what I'm saying, real quick, for my little vacation. I went and visited St. Louis. Shout out to St. Louis. Hey man, RIP to baby Huey.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
My guy Hugh Hef, you know, unfortunate accident, just the stuff you think you'll never hear about, but you know, his untimely passing, that was some news I didn't want to wake up to.
No, for
Super
real.
cool dude. I remember when I used to rap back in the day, I used to rap, you know what I'm
Uh-oh.
saying? And we did a couple shows with Baby Huey, and
Oh, really?
super humble. He was definitely a bigger name on the ticket than we were, but super humble, never acted super Hollywood,
Yeah.
so definitely RIP to him, and shout out to his little daughter. He got a 13-year-old, and
man.
they said that they got a super close relationship, so I can only imagine what she's going through, you know what I'm saying, this week.
Man,
Rest in
crushing.
paradise.
Yeah, Pop Lock and Drop It was my cut, though.
What?
Yeah,
Man, I still can't do it. Them D's is good. They get old after a while. I can't come back up.
It used to knock, boy.
But
106
yeah,
and
that's
point
a banger.
Oh yeah, it rolled for a minute too.
Man.
Toot that thing. I'm just playing.
So we've been gone for a long time. A lot of stuff didn't happen since we've been gone.
Of course.
Definitely something surprising to me, the acknowledgement of Juneteenth.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
I didn't know they was gonna do it.
Are
But
Right.
Are they peddling now? Are they peddling or?
I don't know. Like I think we're gonna push through with it. You know what I'm saying?
I think
they're
so
gonna give it
too.
to
I
us.
do.
It
I
seemed
do.
Like it.
Yeah.
I was just wondering. You know, you see the different companies coming through. I was
Yeah.
like, even people with days off. I was like, oh.
They
Yeah.
hey, my company hit us.
They hit us with it, what,
uh,
2 days before?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, y'all could go ahead and have it off. And
I
we're
know
like,
it's real
all
when,
right.
when they make it a federal holiday, though.
Yeah.
When they cross
Yeah,
the banks forward.
yeah.
They push
They-
it though, so
Yeah.
if y'all still out there, you know what I'm saying, curious about Juneteenth, go Google it. I think it change.org. They got a petition available. I went ahead and signed the petition
Okay.
to make it a national
National
federal
holiday.
holiday.
Okay.
So
No doubt.
yeah, definitely change.org. It should pop right up.
Cool.
But yeah, Juneteenth was lit. I mean, I was in the airport most of Juneteenth, so
Oh,
I didn't
man.
really get to enjoy it like I wanted
Yeah.
to.
Really? What? It wasn't thin?
Like, it was thin, but it was just, I was just there. So it was just like, I wasn't able to, like, my flight was in the evening.
Okay.
So I was still in Dallas.
Oh,
And then
okay.
I got to St. Louis that night. So it was like, I didn't get a chance to do the festivities.
Right.
But I swear everybody who passed me through, they was like, okay, sir, you can go right this way. I was like, thank you. Happy Juneteenth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you very much. It's my day.
Everybody getting this Juneteenth
Yeah.
work.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Not the Juneteenth work.
I'm trying to tell you.
So, yeah, that'll be dope, man. I like to see that, man. In our time period, we done went through a lot in our generation of
Yes.
things that didn't happen. So I love to see Juneteenth become something big. So, y'all heard about the Trump rally?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I was in Oklahoma. I was a little leery driving up.
Yeah.
And driving from my crib, it makes me take the back roads.
Yeah.
So, you know
I
what I'm
don't
saying?
do
People
that.
that was riding with me, they was a little leery. Exactly.
Yes.
Like, nah, we gonna push through. It's daytime, man. We
Yeah.
all right. But, yeah, I seen that. Interesting.
Yeah.
I figured, I was hoping for something of that nature to happen.
Yes.
They put that pressure on him, though, because it was supposed to be on Juneteenth.
Yep.
And they put that pressure on, or somebody
He
in the,
knew what he was doing.
somebody in the cabinet was like, fam, You
Wrong.
can't do this, bro.
But did you see now he came back and said that he made Juneteenth popular? He's the reason for.
Yeah.
I was like, if you don't shit, yo, then nobody. We knew about Juneteenth but way before you.
Yeah.
He just want to be. He just want to be something. It's just Twitter figures. That's all I see him as. It's somebody just trying to be somebody.
Hey man, we got lost in the reality TV, and that's what we're living in now. So hey.
It's a joke. He's a joke.
And that's a good example of when reality TV took over everything.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And now we got a president from reality TV that's not successful too much in anything else.
Not even his own business. He's a businessman, but not even successful in that.
Nah.
Yeah. So hey,
he sucks as a president.
Go vote. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them voters. You know what I'm saying? Getting it done. And then we back to quarantine from what I'm hearing, man, from Governor Abbott down here in Texas. It's embarrassing. I was in Missouri. They was like, y'all know y'all going back on lockdown?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, go on with that.
You're right. Don't talk to me, man.
Yeah.
I was in Arizona, and they were actually about to start going into back lockdown. But then they were like, yeah, y'all know y'all finna shut back down, too. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
So that means I'm going from vacate, going back home to go be back in between those same four walls.
I mean, shit, everybody avoiding social distancing, so we knew it was coming.
We did.
So this is the thing I found out yesterday. I've been looking for a bike all week so I can get out and, hit some trails or whatever. But they sold out completely.
Bikes
it's like
gone.
toilet paper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bikes, skates, anything
And
that you can do outside,
Yep.
guns,
Guns
ammo.
and weights. For some weird reason, weights are gone.
Everything is
So,
gone.
I was looking, and the guy was like, he was like, the bikes that we get, I was at Academy. He was like, the bikes we get, they come from China. He was like, so we probably going to have a lot more coming in August because he was like, China been shut down, which that's why we ain't seeing too much stuff coming in because a lot of we outsource for manufacturing. So he was like, they'll be back in, but they've been shut down for 2 months, but they clearing back up. So I'm like, damn, it took them 2 months. And I know they following the rules over there.
Exactly.
It took them 2 months to clear up. I said, dog, we on lockdown for the rest of 2020.
But they've been on lockdown, so you got to add 2 months to that because they were on lockdown for a minute, then they opened up, and then they locked back down again.
So times that by 2, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And or double that, we going to probably be on lockdown and through to 2020.
To the end of the year,
Yeah. Nobody's adhering to anything, so
But
it's gonna be a minute.
I can't live like this.
Yeah.
I can't either. It's taking away all of life, damn near.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You just can't really let go. You're so apprehensive about every activity every time you step out that door.
Yeah. So I don't know that.
This shit's wild.
Look,
2020.
I know a lot of people are like, man, shit, if I get it, I get it.
Shit, I think everybody might already have it. It's just got
Really? Or you've had it before.
it's the survival of the fittest, baby. I hope you
eat
your
better, do
vitamins.
better.
Yeah.
I mean, but I just can't live like this.
Nah.
Staying in the house, being away from people, it's just.
And they just ramming it down your throat. I usually don't just get lost in the news, but I watch it to try to stay informed on how they're showing us the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To keep abreast of that situation. But I don't take it wholeheartedly, but every day.
Yeah. They could be, to me, I feel like they've been playing with the numbers and, they've been lying. I feel like most of it's like a fear tactic.
Even think about some hospitals they might be sending in 3-day reports accounting for that one day. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know how they, like you said, they might be fudging them numbers and it's just a fear tactic. Who knows?
Well, doctors have been coming out saying that they're being told to do that.
Wow.
They're being told to mark people as COVID and they're getting extra money for people on ventilators and people that are marked as COVID.
Well, can we say that they found a way to monetize it then in that instance?
I don't know.
Like we do everything else in this country?
Right. Look, I
keep
don't
the people
know.
sick so we can keep making these ventilators and keep making this.
I think that's what it is.
These masks.
Yep, I think that's exactly what it is. They're just trying to make more money. It's all a financial gain.
Yeah.
And this
That's
COVID
scary.
thing, but it's not going away. Unfortunately,
No, it's not.
COVID, it's never going to go away. This is something we're going to have to deal with forever, just like the flu.
Right.
How the flu come back around, COVID's going to just continue to stay.
Yeah.
It'll disappear in like 100 years or something. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like the Black Plague type of thing.
Yeah, but about that vaccine, ain't happening.
It ain't.
I don't think so.
I'm not getting it. They can make it all they want to.
I'm not taking it either. No.
I don't even think they even like halfway close to even discovering what it is. Like I seen the ad come up the other day. I was reading like a little article. They clueless, dog. Like they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
They don't know.
They keep saying we working 24 hours around the clock. It's been 6 months. Like they don't got nothing, man. Like we in it for ourselves, man.
Yeah.
Like just got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Be safe. Take your vitamins.
Take your vitamins, your supplements,
Yeah,
work
yeah.
out, eat
healthy.
better, drink water.
That's all you can do.
Some
Pray.
realizations we already should have came to a long time ago.
Something we should have been doing. And then your hygiene, like washing your hands, stuff like that's stuff we kind of should have been doing. And being as clean as we are now, that should have been done.
Yeah, no doubt. What else you got, man? What's up?
We're going to jump into these jewels, man.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
I wanted to touch on art imitating or art imitating life. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like that right now, us in this social area of social injustice, we have Corona, everything. But I'm noticing that this generation here is lacking like any social conscious art coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had artists back in our day, whether it was Pac, whether it was dead presidents that was talking about what was going on. Right now, all this stuff going on, and we still getting Xanax music.
Yeah.
Like, what y'all feel about that?
Have
y'all noticed it?
I've noticed that, but I think you have to be able to sway your vision and your perspective towards a different type of art. I think you got to start looking towards actual creator that's more visual, not necessarily somebody that creates music. You know what I'm saying? I think it's somebody that paints. I think it's somebody that writes literature, whether it's a poem or some short story. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where we're at in this deal. Music, it's different. You know what I'm saying? These kids are different. But we do have to give them credit because that generation is also out there battling on the front lines with no fear right now. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I think the times are just different. Music is different. Art is different. So the music today, like he said, we have Pac and all that. Now they over here supporting, Tech Nine, whatever his name is, homeboy with the colorful hair.
Dude.
That's their form.
Dude.
But that's their form of art now, and it's different. I think it's just a changing in the times.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I really think that music is just different nowadays, and it's just a generational thing in the era of what we're moving into.
Right.
Yeah. But what are we moving into? What y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Well, like I was saying, I think that generation they are a little bit more fearless and jumping out there and not accepting certain things. So we got to just be able to try to find a way to guide them in that faction. You know
and
what I'm
educate.
saying?
Yeah, and I feel like rap needs to be more educational.
Right.
Yeah, and they need to move towards actually speaking about something or rapping out something more than money hoes, ass shaking, stuff like that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Speaking of rap, man, I got my guy Max Million in the building. You know what I'm saying? Special guest today, man. We ain't had many guests lately, but had to get my guy in here, man.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
How you
Les,
been,
how are
bro?
you?
What's up, man? It's been a year, dude.
Man, telling you,
It's
man.
been a while.
I see the growth, man.
Thank you.
You
Man.
know
I
what I'm
appreciate
saying?
that.
Yeah.
So how's everything going with the music success? We signed yet?
Man, I'm not even looking to be signed. I'm just looking to get
Hey.
a project
independent
Ain't
route.
nothing wrong with
you know what I'm
that.
saying?
That's what's up.
Yeah, so I got a project right now covering the basis of mental health and therapy.
Yeah.
And it's called, I haven't said much till now, but it's called Therapeutic.
Okay.
And basically it's about toxic relationships, maturity into manhood, and family structure.
Education, like I was just saying.
Righteous.
See, here we go.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Because I've been peeping the songs, man.
Me too. I listened to it while I was getting ready.
Yeah.
That's why it took so long.
I was listening to, what is it called? Pray?
Yes,
Pray.
Pray. Yes.
Pray fire, man. Like, that
It was
that
fire.
was motivation for this
Yeah,
morning.
it really
Thank you, man.
was.
I
You know what I'm
appreciate
saying?
that.
Insecure, Earthly.
Insecure.
I've been checking your visuals.
That one was my other favorite one.
I appreciate it.
Insecure, dope one, though. That's
Insecure,
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually dropped Insecure around the time last year when I was on your podcast again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's going to be in a project. Insecure is going to be in a project.
Cool.
Okay, cool. So, Earthly Love, man. The visuals for that. What made you come up with that concept?
Honestly, man, like I said about toxic relationships, I feel like we're in an era to where my boss actually told me at my job, he said relationships are, they have no meaning nowadays. Like it's so easy to get into a relationship and it's so easy to exit out of a relationship. So that's why I call it Earthly Love because I just don't feel like people value people anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel that. And my apologies, man. This is my guy, James the Gemini.
up,
You know what I'm saying? This is Janae
Janae the Bae. Hello.
Jay.
Just wanted to make sure I introduce y'all.
That's cool.
But yeah, as far as like younger artists coming up, one of my things that made me gravitate towards Max is that he had a conscious soul on his music, which we lack. Which that's something we was just talking about as you was walking in. We was talking about how the art imitating life, and how some of the artists today, they don't really speak about what's going on socially, and I feel like that's missing. The message is missing sometimes in the music. So that's something that I saw in Max that was super dope. Speaking on the toxic relationships, you know, do you think the word toxic is being overused or oversaturated nowadays? I mean, I know it's a thing, but do you think that we label people too quickly with toxicity?
Well, I mean, I looked up the word toxic relationships the other day, and it gave me a number of variables of different, toxic relationships. And I myself, I never knew the understanding, so I wanted to educate myself so I can understand, am I in a toxic relationship? Am I not? And if so, what part do I have to play?
Yeah.
Because I believe most toxic relationships aren't just a one-way street. It's a two-way thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it takes maturity of an individual to notice that, I'm part of the benefit of this relationship. So if I want to make it grow, then how am I making it toxic?
Yeah.
Or how am I making it better? So to answer your question again, it's like, I do think it's oversaturated, but I don't think it's known widely.
Right.
Like toxic relationships is something I just heard this year.
Yeah.
So that's why, I had to go to Google, check it out, look what it is, and like I said, get the definition of it so I can be educated on it.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people do use it and don't realize, or a lot of people don't realize that they are toxic to their own relationship. Yeah. I be watching Cheetahs, right? That's my shit. Yeah. So I watch Cheetahs, and something that I notice is something that I notice about people that's on Cheetahs, usually the victim on Cheetahs, they have this personality where they're like, oh my God, this person is the love of my life. I can't live without them. I'll do anything for them. And I'm like, they don't really notice that that's a problem.
That you're that dependent on another person, that person is literally the reason why you breathe. And I feel like people are just now knowing what the word toxic means, like he said, like, looking it up and knowing different variables of that. But also, I feel like a lot of people brag about being toxic.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, I know I'm toxic, and it's not. To me, it's not funny. It's not funny to know that you're toxic and know that you're like that to people, and you're okay with it.
Right.
You need to go seek help. You need to go get help and go talk to somebody, get you a therapist, do what you got to do. But toxic relationships is definitely a two-way street, and being that dependent on another human being for the reason why you're happy, the reason why you're good, the reason why you're okay, and the reason you can move on is not healthy to be that dependent on somebody else.
For me, it's one of the things that I wish we stopped throwing out these words and just because they sound good.
Right.
A lot of people seem to put that shit with anything. You can, they'll say, goddamn, McDonald's fries are toxic. Well, shit, you still taking your kids to eat them, though.
Right.
So why would you still deal with anything of that nature? I wouldn't even want to associate myself with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, man. We got to learn how to streamline our thoughts and our actions, you know what I'm saying, to be able to walk in them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that we can teach the younger generation, you know what I'm saying, how to live this thing, you know what I'm saying?
And about self-happiness and self-love.
Yeah.
You can be okay without somebody else. You were born by yourself. You're going to go by yourself. That person's not going to go with you.
No doubt.
Well, that is true, but I believe also that we need to get back to the meaning of learning how to, I would say, respect people, respect them as a person, as individuals, because we kind of look at people like we look at consumers, or like we look at a Snickers bar. Like, it's easy to eat the Snickers bar and throw it away. So with the same person, all we hear in culture is that it's easy to get a new one. I can give me a new one in a minute.
Yeah.
So we don't really hold the value on people anymore, and my homeboy taught me that. So this relationship or this project in general is speaking on the meaning of holding people accountable to holding people valuable in your eyes.
Yeah.
But also
despite the situation.
Yeah, but I feel like also you have to hold yourself accountable. Like, have self-respect for yourself. If you know that person, another person to you is toxic and they're not good for you, if they're not going to pull themselves back, you have to be accountable for yourself to draw yourself back and pull yourself away from them in that toxic relationship. Yeah. I mean, they can have to hold some accountability, but you also have to hold yourself accountable, because it's not only their job to, make sure that you're good all the time. You got to make sure you're good, where it starts with self-love and self-respect, I feel.
So what would be the roots of these issues? That's, I think, what we always...
Family
structure, growing up.
Because, we come from generations of people who saw it in their household to where mom didn't treat, dad right, or dad didn't treat mom right. So when I go into the world, it's only by nature that I'm not going to listen to what you tell me. I'm going to enact what you show me. Right. And so in the next relationship, I'm going to betray that until somebody breaks the generational curses.
Yes.
Especially not having, and I was just asking my friend this the other day, I was like, how many healthy relationships do you know of? how many people do you know that are actually healthy and you've seen like good relationships throughout your lifetime? I told her, I was like, I honestly, maybe one or two. Yeah. And I'm 26. I haven't seen a lot of healthy, all the relationships I know of and my friends that are in, they're unhealthy and they're very toxic. But they feel dependent on that person to where, like we talked about last time, they're willing to drop everybody, their family, their friends, their kids, for that person.
Well, it's because they have no self-character. Like, they don't know who they are.
Right.
You know, they don't spend time with themselves. And that's normal. But, you know, as a maturity, as manhood, I think I heard J. Cole say, there comes a point in time when you become a man, when you stop chasing your friends. You know, when you stop identifying yourself with certain groups, certain people, you know, when you find out who you are.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just my outlook on it.
It's real talk, man. Everybody can't jump on the ride with you.
Right. So from last year to this year, what kind of mental space you feel you're in now? How's your mental wellness?
Shoot, to be completely honest with you, man, I'm 20. You know, I'll be 21 in October. I think I'm.
Man, I miss being 20, man.
I wouldn't say I'm mature, dude. Not yet, but I do think I'm growing up fast. Like, I got my own place this year.
All right, shout out to that, man.
Yeah. I'm looking on getting a second car. I want to get me a truck.
Okay.
And my girl that I've been with for 2 years now, you know, for propose.
Hey.
So, yeah.
Come on, Black Love.
Yeah.
Yes. So
tell her to mute this part real quick. Well, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna
Right, it's a surprise. Tell her don't watch this one.
Nah. But yeah, man, I think my life is going by pretty smoothly, the way I want it to go. Yeah. You know, I take charge of it because I don't feel like nobody's gonna help me live the life I want to live. Yeah, whether it's my father, my mom, anybody in my life. Like, I have to be the person. I have to be the hero of my own life. You know, I do believe in God, but, you know, faith without works is dead.
Right.
So,
Every day.
Let me ask you this: with everything going on with the coronavirus, with the civil rights movement reactivated, how is it distributing music? Like, how do you keep yourself like motivated to drop new music, record, or even just keep yourself relevant in this time?
Honestly, man, I just fall back and get education because so many emotions are going on right now. Like, a lot of people are very sensitive to the subject, which I can understand. And if I don't say something that helps the situation, I guess somebody could take it the wrong way.
Right. Yeah.
So I'll speak, I'll speak when the time is appropriate. But right now, I just fall back and get the best education that I can get.
I feel that.
Make the best songs I can get. Because I seen J. Cole and No Name kind of get into an argument. Right. And I didn't like that, man, because J. Cole wasn't coming from a perspective of ignorance. Yeah. You know, and I can see where No Name was coming from, but it's like, our people are super divided. We're divided, man, right now. So, yeah.
I feel that. How you feel about the new the rioting, the looting, George Floyd, like?
Honestly, man, I feel like we have to become organized. Like, as a people, we have to have a direction for all that movement. You know, I think somebody said movement without a motive is just wasted direction. Yeah. So we have to have a place of where we're taking all this voice to, because look at how it's dying down now. Breonna Taylor's name is dying down. You know, it's no longer trending anymore.
Yeah. Ahmaud as well.
Yeah. Like, you rarely hear about Ahmaud and Elijah McCain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, the Black Lives Matter movement as well. You know, it's easy for that to be trending for a couple of weeks, but it's like we have no direction where we're going with this. Now we're back in the same spot. Yeah. I mean, we have to strike while the iron is hot. That's all I'm saying. You know, if we're gonna organize, if we're gonna protest, we have to, like I say, strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah.
So
that's powerful. That's real talk right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do have to get mobilized some kind of way, some kind of unity to figure something out to keep this going. Like, we can't let this die. Like, this is the longest I've seen a protest go since I've been alive.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
It's the question would be was how do we turn it over? You know what I'm saying? How do we get that help aid their generation and turn it off? Because we've been repeated same cycle. Yeah. It's been built up time again. You know what I'm saying? How do we make it last this time? How do we really make it count?
And make a change.
A significant change.
Right.
Something that matters.
Because I think people are starting to, probably some people feel like a rock in a hard place. They don't know how to continue to move. Like, what is our next move? What's the next step? Right. Like, I was telling my mom, she was saying, go to the town halls, go to those meetings and, make your voice be known. And I'm like, well, I want to go. I want to go protest. I want to go to those town halls. But the thing is, I'm busy. I have, work 2 jobs. Right. They make it to where they have those meetings where you can't go attend. If you got to take off of work, or some people don't have the transportation to do so,
Right.
or, you know, especially with this COVID thing going on, people don't really have a way to go to make that extra step and to make that change.
Yeah.
Well, the game is played for us to really have to take a heavy sacrifice in order to make change.
Right.
Even if you notice they shut down the mail-in voting for Texas.
I saw that. Yep.
So now you got to get out and go in the trenches. I seen a white dude was like, man, Trump done fucked it up so bad. If I had to go in there crawling, COVID up, goddamn, I'm finna vote. You know what I'm saying? And try to get his ass out of there.
And they're doing it to where I saw in some states they only have like one place where they can go vote.
Yeah.
And it's like a 4-hour wait, and you got to wait in that line. Either there's one person working, there's one place for you to go vote and make those changes. Some people, you ain't got all day to stay in line for 4 hours to to do that vote. And they're not making it to where it's convenient for us so we can move forward to make changes. They're really trying their best to dial back to make sure they shut us up pretty much.
Well, to be completely honest with y'all, I feel like, you know, like I said earlier, you can't, nobody can take charge of your life. You have to be responsible for all your decisions to live the life that you want to live. When you look at Jewish people, when they came to America, they built their empire based off of their culture, their structure, and their respect for themselves. Asians did it, you know, Africans did it as well. So I feel like black people can do it as well. Yeah. Like, I think we have a savior's mentality. Like, we want everybody else to save us before we can save ourselves. And if somebody does try to save us from our own community, we hate on them. Yeah. Not only do we hate on them, but, you know, we become jealous.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'll get with you on that is that the Jewish were paid. They got payments. Exactly. They got a head start.
They did have
even the Italians who were slaves. I mean, the Irish who were slaved a long time. The Italians came over here. They were slaves. They got to get on somehow. Even the Asian community.
Asians, yep.
You know what I'm saying? They got paid in the West Coast when all that shit was going down back in the day. We're the only people who've never really just gotten that. Here y'all go. You know what I'm saying? And that's where, you know what I'm saying, being looking for a savior, I think that's where it meshes. That's where we have to get clarity on that situation. Right. If y'all not going to give it to us, okay, we have to find a way to sacrifice that's so transient that we know where to put our dollars at. You know what I'm saying? We know where to buy homes at. We know where to build our businesses at. You know what I'm saying? And we just stick together and have each other's back. You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like a lot of people feel like we tried to do that. As far as like Black Wall Street, Tulsa Massacre, you know, we tried to do that. And as soon as we get somewhere, we're doing good and we get above, here they come to destroy it. So
that's where I'm at the point being, I'm sorry, brother. I'm at the point 39 years old, bro, where if that's the case, I'm ready to get my AR out, and we're going to have to do what we got to do then.
Yeah, you got to protect it.
We can't let that happen no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, are you familiar with Marcus Garvey?
Of course.
Okay, people like Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, those are Martin. You know, Martin is my mentor, but I believe in more of a structure of Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X, where let's create our own table instead of begging to sit at somebody else's table. Right. Because in the same energy and effort that I can ask a girl to stay with me, I can put that same energy and effort in building myself up, so I don't have to ask an individual to stay with me.
Exactly.
Other individuals are going to come my way.
Yep.
And that's how we should look at ourselves as a community. You know, we should have enough respect as a people to where it's like we see ourselves, if we call ourselves kings and queens, we carry ourselves in regality. We carry ourselves as kings and queens. Yeah. You know, kings and queens don't beg for assistance from other nations or from other cultures. They build their culture. They take pride in their culture. And so I think as a people, we have to understand, what do we stand for, number one. Number two, what are we willing to die for? And number three, who is going to teach our children? I think we take our children and we give them to the hands of the nations, and we tell them, okay, go teach them. And then we get mad when they're taught white supremacy. We get mad when they're taught, you know, different from our culture. I don't think, honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't know if black people in America know what they follow, if I'm being honest with you.
No, that's true.
You know, so as a people, we first have to understand what do we live for and what are we willing to die for. Yeah. I take the Malcolm X and the Marcus Garvey approach. Let's build our own table first.
No doubt.
You know, shout out to Dr. Before I stop, shout out to Dr. Umar Johnson. I like what he's doing.
I like Umar too.
I like Umar.
I like his
Sometimes he goes a little left. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I dig him. You know what I'm saying? I think you got to take a little bit from everybody, though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And we also have to protect our culture as well.
Right.
And we got to stop idolizing the celebrity.
Yeah.
You know,
celebrities are not. Malcolm X said celebrities are not community leaders.
They're not. They're not.
That's where I go back to the no name J. Cole thing. Like no name, no. We can't. I'm not dependent on J. Cole to come save me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No name. I enjoy you and your music. I'm not dependent on J. Cole to come save me though. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I enjoy his music and he's cool and he has some good things to say. He's very educational. But he's not he's not our God.
Right.
Celebrities have made us forget hard work.
Right.
We see, hey, I can shoot a ball good, I could rap good,
right,
and or I can sing good, and then you know what I'm saying, because
it's the program,
it's the elite, because it's some people who work really hard at that and they deserve being artists and celebrity. Mm-hmm. The rest of us, we might just have to go farm. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nothing wrong with farming. It's a honest work, and you can become rich off of that.
Right.
But we don't want to get dirty no more.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? We avoid it. Yeah. We want the easy way out. It's a lot of celebrities that shouldn't be celebrities right now. You don't know what their talent is, but they're a celebrity.
But we idolize them.
I'm sorry.
I was going to say, but we idolize them.
Yeah.
I was going to say, well, people want a position of power, but they don't understand the power that comes with it. They don't understand the responsibility.
Yep.
As cliche as it sounds, if you've watched Spider-Man before, Homeboy told him, with great power comes great responsibility. That's a real statement.
Yeah.
It is.
To whom much is given, much is required.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you want the status of a celebrity or the status of somebody who's of notoriety, do you have the work ethic?
Right.
Most celebrities have the work ethic that matched their notoriety.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people don't have that work ethic.
Don't.
They just complain about wanting to be at that status.
Yeah.
As a musician, dude, I go so many days. Like I have 2 9-to-5s. I go so many days where I leave the studio and then I go straight to the studio and record. So I'm sorry, I leave work.
Yeah, we're gonna go. Got what you mean.
Record. So it's like a lot of work is being put in, man. But a lot of people just want to sit back and just take the praise without putting the work in.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you a question that's a little bit off subject.
Yeah.
It's been over the last couple of years. I say probably the last 6 or 7 years or so. It's been a ultimate divide between OGs and the young kings. Do you feel that in the industry? And if so, what do you think that we can do as the OGs to support, your young kings coming up?
Teach. I think a lot of OGs don't want to be older generations. Like you can call it, older gangsters, you can call it older generations.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of old dudes don't want to be old.
Yeah.
I know a lot of old dudes want to be young still. And it's like, to me, to be completely honest with you, that's kind of backwards because it's like you're supposed to age.
Right.
You're supposed to get older. And so you're supposed to teach the younger generation the mistakes that you learn so we can avoid it.
Yeah.
But if you in the club with us doing the same thing that we doing,
Right.
I can't respect that, bro, because it's like at the same time, you want us to honor the older generation, but y'all doing what we doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all not doing, y'all doing what they doing,
Yeah.
not y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, honestly, man, I think the older generation first needs to stand up and say, yo, we here for y'all. We not going to do the same thing. And number 2, I think the younger generation needs to respect and have respect authority. Respect our older generation, respect our mothers, our fathers, the people who are the pioneers who can help us.
Right.
So, yeah.
I feel that. That's real talk, man. Because I've been seeing that for a minute with the older and younger. We got to cut that out, dog.
Well, essentially, the OGs we got to respect ourselves better.
Yeah.
So that they see us respecting ourselves, and then they have a reason to respect us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we look up to y'all, man.
Right.
As much as we don't understand it, we look up to y'all, but it's like, as younger generation, we have nothing but testosterone and energy.
Right. Just like we did, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so what's the album title again?
Therapeutic.
When can we expect it?
Shoot, Therapeutic, man, will be here soon.
All right.
I'm just going to say soon.
Hey,
We got
keep a
one more
lookout.
single coming out and then the project.
Man, keep a lookout for that, everybody. In the meantime, go ahead and check out that 914 Duncanville, that 914 Duncanville.
Yeah. Check out
You know what I'm saying?
914
Classic.
Duncanville.
I like
Yes.
it. That's my joint right there. So
Yes, sir.
definitely check that out. Man, drop your social media handles for me.
All right, y'all can follow me on Instagram at officialmaxmillion. Also, go to my latest website, maxmillion.com, for more content and latest updates.
All right, bet. We're going to hit on a couple more topics. We're going to keep Max in the building with us while we flow through. Let me check something now here. Bae Talk. What's up, Bae Talk?
Hey.
What you got for us?
Okay, let me see. Okay, so I guess it's pretty much on some of the topics we already, we're kind of going in today. But first, before I start, I got a chance to interview Kyla Shea Draper.
Shout out to Kyla.
Yes, she's wonderful. She made this shirt, y'all. Let me see. Bae, black and educated.
I like that.
Yes, she is great. I saw her in Arizona. She does really good spoken word. She's an actress, singer, rapper, book writer. She wrote 3 books, so I got the chance to read this one, Turning Me On.
Okay.
The Lessons I Learned from My Exes. I read it in about an hour and a half. I loved it. So everyone should definitely go check it out. She is very inspirational. She's just a very intelligent Black young woman. So I definitely would say follow her and get into her stuff. But so one of my topics, I guess a question for you guys. Why do Black men tear down and degrade Black women when we care and love y'all the most?
Programming. Ooh, let me get some of that.
Yeah, go ahead and get some of this.
I'm gonna start with this. A lot of Black women need to identify who a Black man is. Some of y'all be dating niggas. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And they not Black men. We're not the same. We look similar.
You look similar. Yeah, but you're not the same.
You know,
I like that.
It's just like an African American and an African. We look similar, but they're
it's
not the same.
I like that. So I like that.
I think a lot of young ladies got to identify, like, we not to be categorized with each other.
Right.
A Black man definitely gonna worship what he wants. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna go after what he wants and make you feel appreciated. You don't have to force a Black man to do anything. We won't tear you down. We actually, I'm newly married. I'm about to hit a year of being married. And my whole envision for my wife is that she has to be my counterpart. I have to build her up. If something happened to me, if I drop dead today, she got to be good. She got to carry that torch. And a man's job is to teach the woman, you know what I'm saying? Right. And to build her up in her own unique way. So I feel like, you know.
Yeah, I like that.
Can I ask a question? Mm-hmm. Can you restate what you asked again?
Yeah. Why do Black men tear down and degrade Black women when we're the ones who care and love y'all the most?
That's deep. I was asking myself, do Black women of today's generation want to follow Black men? Like, do they believe? I think this is a taboo word in the Black community: submissiveness.
Yeah, Submit to what? I'm just kidding.
They believe in that word.
Right.
Like, how do y'all feel about that? And before you say that, like he said, you can't submit to, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you fly.
But submit to niggas or young boys. You can't. I will not submit to someone who's not doing what they should be doing. If I'm bringing stuff to the table, I'm bringing the table and all the food to put on the table. I can't submit and respect you because I'm doing it all. It's been like that in a lot of my relationships that I've been in. I am the go-getter. I am the table. I'm bringing everything to the table, and why don't you submit to me? I can't because I don't respect you. I'm sorry. I need someone I can follow, someone who's gonna, teach me, educate me, but push me, motivate me, and I'll do the same in return for you. But you got to show me something. Show me something that that's something we can build off of and build our empire on. But you can't show me that, and I'm doing it all. I'm sorry, but I can't. But I will submit to a man, to a real man who has a good job, his own place, or his own car. Bring me something. Don't let me be the go-getter and the breadwinner of everything.
My take on it is programming and partnership, lack of partnership. The programming is what we take in, what we digest, whether it's mentally, whether it's listening to music, whether it's something we grew up watching. We don't really take into account if we hear something about screwing and doing 10 times a day on the radio, eventually that shit starts to take hold. It's going to plant a seed in your mind. So sometimes you know what I'm saying, you progress in life and you start ignoring those signs because you think this shit normal. Now that shit ain't normal. You just heard that shit 100,000 times in the last 10 months.
Right.
And now it's a subconscious behavior that you've learned. Partnership, I think that's what goes towards the submissiveness. But it has to be a two-way streak as well. You know what I'm saying? I can't depend on you to come home and get down in the kitchen every day without at least getting there doing it myself or lending a hand. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can't expect you to fold all these clothes and shit and without getting them a hand or at least taking them out the dryer or something. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
That's my idea of my response to your question.
Right.
I don't think people want to follow roles anymore either. Even if it's with your woman being a helpmeet, or dudes going to work and getting the bread. I think people have become very lazy in our generation. Right. Yeah. Most people want to be under mom and dad's titty and, belly until they turn 30, 40, 50. Yeah. So, we need an uprising of men and women who want to be men and women.
Right.
I agree. So another one, I guess this is, it's kind of a little more off topic, but so do y'all think it's possible to separate emotions when having a fuck buddy? Does it at some point get complicated?
Not for men.
Ew.
I think it does.
Yeah, I think it will too.
I think jealousy will come.
Yeah.
Jealousy and confusion.
Yeah, a lot of gray area.
There's always gonna be that question, and you know what I'm gonna ask. So what are we doing?
Right.
Somebody's gonna ask it, and I know 99.9% of the time it's the women.
Gonna get tired of the anxiety of, damn, I gotta get out of here. I need to get up. Yeah. I need to figure out something to tell her because it's time for me to go. But I know she's gonna ask me, you gonna stay or you wanna go eat breakfast? We just was,
you know, this was fun. But see, I think at some point, I mean, in the beginning, I feel like it's fun in the beginning. You know, it's cool. But when you get months in of doing it. And you know, they're staying over, you know, y'all having talks and y'all hanging out and, you know, sometimes going on dates and stuff like that. After a while, there's some gray area because then there's like, well, what can I tell you I don't want you to do? Or like, where's my boundary? Like, I can't tell you certain things. I can't tell you, you know, hey, make sure you call me or make sure you text me or you didn't text me in a few days.
When somebody digging in it, you going to start being like, hey, call me. Eventually, you're going to be like, hey, call me.
But life is simple, man. We always make it more complicated. You know that man ain't shit and it's all he finna do. Bust you down and go get up out of there. So go get your mind out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what'll trip you out is this generation these days, it's the women that'll hit you with that shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The last 10 years, it's changed. You know what I'm saying? So the nigga will be out there like...
sad. And I'm over here trying to, you know, move like Megan Thee Stallion or Janae Aiko. I'm like, man, you know, they over here just doing this. But, you know, some women can do it, but, you know, some can't.
It takes a toll.
Yeah.
But we as men have to understand that and stop taking y'all through that as well. And be mature enough to recognize, you know, she might not be that strong mentally or she might really need some type of love. I can't come in here and put this poison in her life right now because it's going to take her down a rabbit hole maybe. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's always going to end up going left. That's what I tell my homeboys. I be like, man, if you don't mean her no good, leave it alone.
Just learn how to live.
Just like that woman. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that right there creates a cycle of a generational curse.
Right.
And this is what therapeutic is all about.
And just like that young woman, I don't know if y'all saw who she crashed her car with her kid because she found out her boyfriend was married. Yeah. And and I think she found out she was the other woman. That, you know, like you said, some women they can't, you know, register, especially if they have some other, you know, skeletons in their closet. They're going through stuff already. And then you got this on top of it. Sometimes we cannot emotionally handle that.
Because we romanticize the idea
of being together, you know, moving forward, or especially if you know, no telling what he was telling her, you know, behind closed doors, and then she over here believing it, eating out of his hand, and then come to find out it's something completely different. Right. And I've had that happen, you know, before. You telling me this, but then, but what's this over here? I feel like men, if you know that you're not there emotionally with that female, and she's telling you how she feels, you need to draw back. But like I said before, also it's the female's responsibility as well, because if you know that he's not in it for real, then we need to also hold ourselves accountable and close off the cookie, close the.
No, that's 100. That goes back to putting the value on a woman or on a man. And I'm sorry, go ahead, brother.
No, I'm just saying vice versa. If y'all feeling what we saying, go ahead and check out Earthly Love, because the concept is pretty much.
It's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That's a funny song, man. I laugh. Yeah, check out Earthly Love, man. Y'all gonna love it. But yeah, you know, black women are beautiful. I love black women. I come from a black woman. My woman is a black woman. You know, it took me a long time to understand her value because I didn't understand my value. Yeah. Like, I treated my woman like shit in the beginning, and I'm not gonna lie. You know, so it's like it took me a while to really realize I can't do her like this because I'm doing myself like this. I'm doing her like this. So if I was to have a child, I'm gonna do that child like this, and that child's gonna do somebody else like that. You know, so I think I need to go on record and say we as people, we as black people, first need to understand that, before we can talk about George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, do black men matter? Do black women matter? Do black relationships matter?
Yep, and how are you treating the black people around you? Whether it's your sister, your mama, your friends, your brother, your boyfriend, whoever, are you valuing them as well? Are you, loving them, respecting them? Not just, are you respecting them, but are you also respecting yourself and valuing yourself as well? Because it starts with self-love and, working on yourself. And once you do that, I feel like you can spread that and do that with other people as well.
I feel that. But hey, we about to get up out of here in a minute. But we can't get up out of here yet. I got my dude James over here. We finna drop this new segment. Must be two sides. All right, so we going in on the they removing Aunt Jemima from the pancake box.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I'm throwing it to James. We doing the segment where James gonna tear it down on both sides of the game to let you know how you feel about it.
Okay, my take on it initially was cool. we changing up. You know, we taking all these visuals, these bad visuals that keeps this shit going out of our way. So that's gonna help the kids. You know what I'm saying? And I thought, man, that was wonderful. Till I saw the article of a descendant of Jame or whatever that's receiving royalties, and she don't want a girl off the motherfucking circuit ball.
Yeah.
So they are receiving royalties.
Yes.
Okay.
So what a divide that is, you know what I'm saying? And then you blow up the picture of Jame, her damn ankle chained to a table.
Wait, what? I thought it was just her head.
If you blow up that initial picture, the profile is her head, but the whole picture, she's actually chained to a table.
Is that the real Aunt Jame?
I believe so. It's the same visual. So I would have to, you know what I'm saying, research.
I've seen
Okay,
that.
I have to look at that. Okay.
But in any instance, she's still a representative of what was, you know what I'm saying, and what should not be.
Right.
So how do you know what I'm saying, decide in her shoes, you know what I'm saying? Do you take money out these people's mouths, you know what I'm saying, that's feeding their family for generations, or you know what I'm saying? Honestly,
I feel like they're doing the complete opposite of, they're changing the narrative of what we're even asking for and about in the first place. I mean, the Black, the movement was to, we just want justice. But now they're going back and saying, okay, well, we're going to, change this on the syrup bottles. And then next we're going to change something about the change the master.
Black voice actors.
Yes, we're going to change, and then we're going to change the master bedrooms.
That's just putting the bill down on our faces like, oh, shit, they really changing it up. They doing
it. Right.
That's all it is.
Yeah,
that's not systematic.
They're just giving us we hungry, but they're giving us a pacifier instead of giving us food.
Nothing about that is systematic. I don't give a damn about him imitating a black voice. I don't see you anyway.
Right, I don't care.
And that's my whole thing with it all is that, like, they not giving us nothing. Just because they removing this black character figure off of there, it's not doing nothing for us. Period.
So don't take that food out that lineage's mouth.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? If that be the case and all this is accurate, don't take food out their mouth. Is what I'm saying. Fuck it, leave her on there. You know what I'm saying?
It's been like that for years or whatever. Anyway,
absolutely nobody said take Aunt Jemima off the pancake.
Nobody said anything like that. But, now what I do agree with is taking out them statues about all, the racist men and all that stuff. Go ahead and knock them down. I don't care. Yeah. But stuff like that, like the syrup box, like why?
See, my thing is, it's cool. I guess it's kind of cool you take it off. But my thing is, put something attached to it. Let's create a scholarship. Let's get some more black executives within the company.
Make it really
count. Give us some board, give us some stock or value within the company.
Right.
Other than that, you just removing pictures that don't mean.
I've been buying great value butter syrup anyway. I don't even know this Aunt Jemima in the store.
Aunt Jemima high.
That's what I'm saying. I don't too much. How does it affect my life?
Shout out my boy Master P for dropping the pancakes.
Shout out Master P, man. Shit, Uncle P, man, doing it up. He gonna be feeding us out with a whole store here soon, man.
I'm telling you, with the ramen noodles and everything.
Rice, chips.
Yeah. They already got wrap snacks. I saw the wrap snacks in there in Walmart the other day.
Yeah.
Them wrap snacks
go hard.
Too,
yeah.
It's good, bro.
I ain't trying.
You know what? That's one thing Master P did right. You know how a bag of chips got more air than chips?
Yeah.
Master P put chips more than air.
He put chips in the jar.
I said,
okay.
you know what? He did that right.
Though I said, man, back in late 99, early 2000, we laughed at Master P. We was like, he making bikes, he making Master P toys and jerseys, and we was like, what is he doing? He's supposed to be a gangster rapper. Nah, he had a vision.
He had a vision. He knew what he was doing.
Time ago.
It was more greater than just popping in that tape, listening about it. It was way.
He's definitely to make some money.
Yeah.
See, and that's where real power is at. As celebrities,
Facts.
I feel like you shouldn't just be somebody with a voice on a record. It's like you have to have an expander of islands.
Right.
Yep.
Multiple income sources. That's how these people survive, like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates.
Exactly.
Yep.
Jay-Z holds lots of multiple income sources, man, from art, records, so.
And invest.
And to my people, man, our community, like, it's nothing wrong with thinking outside of the box. It's cool to have a boutique. It's cool to sell bundles.
Yep.
But it's also cool to grow cucumbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? There's so many other things. It's cool to be the first black toilet paper company.
Right.
Yeah, for real, man.
You know
that's
what I'm
dope. Nah, that's dope for real.
No, but also with that though, and I've noticed that with a lot of black people, but we do that, and then our prices be pocket gouging.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna break this down.
Okay, please break it down.
That's reasons.
So this is the thing behind it. Like with every other minority or every other race of people, they all have a motherland that they can call back to. Chinese people, they can call China and say, hey, send me a bunch of these over here. They're going to get them the base level amount. You know what I'm saying? Italians, we want some gators over here. We want Italian leather over here. We call Italy. They're going to give us the really small amount. us, we don't have a motherland to call back, so we always have to outsource to another community to get it, and they always gonna mark us higher than they would sell to their own.
Right.
So that's why when you see like a black company, I know that we feel cheated, but you got to kind of think that just don't think about it. You got to be like, man, I'm gonna pay this extra to help this company get further. Because we don't have that source to be like, I'm gonna call Africa and be like, send me such and such, such and such.
Exactly.
Well, that's the only thing why all of our stuff is usually
Well, we need to create that though.
We do.
We need to create that and build that so we can give our dollars back. Because a lot of black people, we don't have that type of money to pay $50 for a blouse. We don't have that type of money. Our jobs are not paying us as much to be able to do that. So we got to find a way to where we can still keep our dollars going, because we can't keep giving it to the Asian community, all the in the white communities. We need to be able to do it back for our own.
That's why I'm saying, like, shout out my boy DeAndre Miles. He was on here a couple of episodes ago. There's a guy I went to high school with, but he was living in an apartment, went and bought some acres in Oklahoma. And even though he didn't live on that land, he started to cultivate that land. Now he has a nice little farm, Bill's Farms and Gardens up in Tulsa.
Okay.
And so he's growing. He got eggs, chickens, all the vegetables. So just saying that it ain't a pretty job. It's hard. It's dirty, but he's sustaining on his own without outsourcing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's dope.
But man, so we gonna get on up out of here, man. This was a great show, man. I appreciate my guy Max out here. Make sure to check out the new project coming soon.
Yes.
In the meantime, and what's the name of the title?
Therapeutic.
There it is. And be sure to go check out his page. Drop your handles for me again, man.
Yes, sir. You can follow me on Instagram at officialmaxmillion, and check out my latest new website, maxmillion.com, for more content.
Hey, and be sure to go on YouTube to check those videos out. Some high stuff on there.
Please.
Other than that, y'all got anything?
No.
What's the new episode?
Yes. I did an interview with Kyla Shea Draper this past week. So the episode will be dropping on Tuesday on YouTube. Please check it out. We get into talking about her book, Turning Me On. Her two other books she has, Gather the Pieces, and A Queen's Dictionary. And then check out her website for her apparel. But yes, check out the interview that will be dropping this Tuesday.
Okay.
I just want to leave everybody with a phrase, man. I don't even know if the shit makes sense, but it makes sense to me, man. I think I discovered it today, conversating with y'all. Transient sacrifice, you know what I'm saying? What can we all sacrifice to further our movement and make it sustainable and make it long lasting, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Jewel of the day. We're going to take that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah, we out, man. Of course, follow Krown Jewels on all platforms, Krown with a K. And, yeah, we out.
We out. Bye.